Hey everybody, welcome back for week 3. Yay. I know this week is one that a few people were worried about because it involves the bibliography assignment. But I promise it's going to be okay. We are going to take it one step at a time. So, excuse me, let me share the screen. There we go. All right, so we are currently looking at what I didn't want to look at yet. There we go. We are currently looking at the homepage for 1102. And just as a reminder, we are, of course, as I said, in week 3. So we are currently working on doing some research, and we're going to have the bibliography assignment is due at the end of this week. Then next week, you're going to turn in your research review essay. So these are tied together, all that good stuff. So if we go to the module, we will find that, and I did, by the way, last week I caught it. I did put weeks 1 through 4 and weeks 5 through 8. Hopefully that helps a little bit because I know there was a little bit of confusion when it's not divided up by every single week. So I apologize for that in advance. In terms of the activities, nothing has really changed. There is a new lecture for this week with the bibliography assignment and the assignment for paper 1. So I'm not going to go over that in super great detail with you today because there is already a lecture about it, but we will talk about them. The reading assignments, of course, are always from the LibGuide, and these are all the same ones that we've been working with. So nothing new is there. Nothing is new there. The only thing that we are doing this week that we have not done before is to work on the bibliography assignment. So I do want to go over that assignment with you in addition to what you will be able to see in the other in the lecture. So let me go open that. Oops, I keep wanting to scroll down. I don't know why. All right. So you're going to use Microsoft Word and you're going to create an annotated bibliography. If you are using a different form like Google Docs or Pages or anything else, you do need to save the document as a Word file before you submit it. So please make sure that you are doing that. If you do not have Word on your computer, you do have free access at Lake Sumter through the Office 365 link that is right there. And you're going to create an annotated bibliography with 10 or more potential sources for your research review essay. Now, you have the choice whether to use MLA or APA, depending on your topic. Anything related to the arts and humanities should use MLA. Anything related to social sciences, hard sciences, or math should use APA. Your length, of course, is going to completely depend on the lengths of the entries, the annotations, the number of sources, but your topic choice is pretty open. So you do need to do library research for finding these sources. So I think it's helpful to also talk a little bit about the paper assignment while we're doing this, because you are looking for articles and sources that will help you with that paper. So each student will submit a Word compatible document, including a short research paper on your chosen topic. It can be any topic of your choosing. So you'll have at least 3 to 4 sources that you utilize in the paper. Again, the annotated bibliography should have at least 10, and that's pretty standard. In order to find 3 to 4 sources to use, it is important to have double, at least double. And again, you're going to be able to choose, depending on your topic, whether you use MLA or APA. All the materials that you need to learn or to review MLA and APA, of course, are in the class. And I will also show you where to find that information in the library as well. The other thing that I will point out about the library is that there are annotated bibliography templates in both MLA and APA. So I'm not going to make a separate template for you, but I'm going to point out where to find those so you can use those as you create it. In terms of this essay, the essay itself needs to be 3 full double-spaced pages, and that, of course, doesn't include the cover page or the works cited. That's the essay itself. The topic, of course, like I said, is completely open. I want you to pick something that you're interested in. That's why I've left it completely open for you. So I know that the bibliography assignment made people a little nervous, but a lot of people were kind of excited about the research essay. So hopefully it all balances out, in the end. And of course, here you have the rubric. So before we leave this, I'm going to go ahead and go to the library. LSSCU, there we go. Second one down. So our library resources cover pretty much everything you could ever need to know about everything. But in the meantime, I want to point out the things that are going to be the most helpful for you on these two particular assignments. So if we click on the library link, we will find the search tool, which you can use to search all of the library's holdings, which would include books, movies, articles from databases, etc. You can also do a more specific and targeted search from the databases specifically. Most of you will want to focus on articles from databases and not giant books about things, but certainly there are good books about things as well. So we have a lot of tutorials. We have a lot of information. If you look here under research, you will find the guides for how to use the library resources, and that link database A to Z. That's my favorite thing and my primary place for you guys to start with this particular endeavor, because again, you want to use library sources and not internet sources. You can have some websites on your bibliography, but that should be a minor component. You really do need to be using real research for this. Next to that, we have the citations link, and this is the one that I wanted to show you because under citation guides, we have both the APA style and the MLA style. So you have access to those. And then there's also a whole link about annotated bibliographies with the student templates. So here's the template that you'll use if you're doing a topic that is social sciences oriented or health sciences oriented. If it's anything related to history, sociology, psychology, all of that stuff, use APA. If it's literature related or music related or art related, then use the MLA one. And they're both right here for you. You can open them, you can create them. Now, I will say that in the video that already exists, that stuff is probably going to be a little bit outdated as far as the citations go because both MLA and APA have done updates. So please utilize the library resources to double check where and how to cite sources. If you do have a website that you need to cite, I highly recommend the website Scribr, but it doesn't have an E in it. It's SCRIBBR.com, and that has free citations in both MLA and APA. So if you do have a website or something that you don't know how to cite, I definitely recommend that. But if you're doing library research, you're going to have the citations provided for you. So I want to show you that. So we're going to go into databases A to Z. And my favorite database is for general topics is Academic Search Complete. You'll even notice it's one of the featured ones. There's a lot of different things that you can do here in terms of all of them, but it is so close to the top. I always like to start with that one for people. And you can really research any topic, even though it's a general database and not something super specific. It will give you results for all kinds of things. So let's say I wanted to research schizophrenia. And you'll notice that when you start typing in the search bar, it gives you all kinds of additional potential links. So let's say I know I want to talk about how schizophrenia is treated and that sort of thing. So I might go straight down to schizophrenia treatment and therapy. There are over 2,500 sources that you can use here, and the limiter for full text is already chosen. So that means that you can see the full version of any of these articles. Now, I will say that 1944, if I'm going to do a psychological topic, is probably too old. I'm going to go back to 2010 and I'm going to limit it to 2010. I still have almost 2,000 things to choose from. So that's plenty. That is plenty. And when you are using the resources from the library, in order to open them, all you have to do to get started is to click on the title. You'll notice that because this is an EBSCOhost database, they all look sort of the same. So you may have seen this before. On the far left-hand side, you have the citation button, which you will want. And on the far right-hand side, you can choose whether you want to see this article in HTML, which is just the plain text, or the PDF full text. I always choose PDF full text because if there's photos and charts and graphs and images, those will be there. So that's kind of a nice thing. They do have a separate link for the 9 images that are part of it, but you know, it's very handy. If you click on the full text for the PDF, you will not see the citation embedded in this. You do have to get the citation from the cite button, but this is where you would go to read it. And when you are reading it, that's when you're going to create your annotation. An annotation does 2 things. It gives a brief summary and it gives an analysis of how this could or could not be useful in your paper. So it'll be roughly a paragraph long. You could have separate paragraphs if you wanted to have one for the summary and one for the analysis, that's fine. But it doesn't have to be super, super long. And you'll see that when you look at the samples that are provided in the library. All right, so let's get that citation. Just as a reminder, this is a psychological topic, so I would be choosing the APA one. So this is what I would copy and paste into my Word document. There's no excuse for not having a good citation when you're using the library. So that's the other main reason to do the library. Let's say I wanted to do something more MLA/humanities related. Trying to think of somebody that I've encountered recently, art-wise or music-wise. Well, I'm going to go with a classic because I love Prince. Now, Prince brings up a lot of stuff. I'm just going to type in Prince and go because I want to see what happens. Now, we only want to focus on Prince and the artist Prince. So I'm going to try to add music. Okay, now we're getting into articles that would actually be about the prince that I care about. So not that I don't care about all the other princes, I absolutely do. This too has the full text already chosen. So anything that you get here would be something that you would have full access to. I'm just going to open this for this second one here, Pop Life Prince in the recording studio. And again, I'm going to be able to pull my citation, but this time, because I'm using a humanities topic, I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to choose the MLA citation. So this is practicing skills that you already have, hopefully developed in ENC 1101. But please, please, please do reach out if you need extra help with it. The other thing I wanted to point out in the library information, we may have to go back a ways to get there. And you can use any database, but I just highly recommend Academic Search Complete. If you are doing a literary topic, there are some specific to literature. So you may want to focus in more on that. And I would highly recommend making use of the librarians to get support with it. So you'll notice that under research, there's a virtual librarian schedule. You can actually book a research session and work one-on-one with a librarian. You also have the ability to use the chat function, except I have lost it. They've updated the website since the last time I looked at it. But there is a chat function. It's probably under, maybe it's under about the library. Let's do staff directory. With the staff directory, you can contact librarians individually. I will tell you the librarian that I work the most with is Nora Rackley, and she knows my class really well. So if you want to send her an email, you can certainly do that, and you can make a time to meet with her. But any of the librarians can help you. I'm trying to think, I don't see, maybe they've done away with that. That's really sad. There was a chat function, but I don't see it anymore. That's very sad. Let's go back to the main page. There we go. Okay. I didn't think it was gone entirely. Here's the chat function. Now, obviously, if you're doing your research in the middle of the night, you will not be able to chat live with a librarian, but you can certainly reach out for help from the library. You can always ask for support and probably make an arrangement to meet with somebody live if needed. So don't be afraid to ask me for help, but also make use of the library. And I am looking forward to figuring out what you guys are writing about. It's going to be fun for me because I will be able to tell from your bibliography what sort of to expect in the paper. I would gravitate towards things that you are just interested in for the sake of learning about something new. Maybe, or something that you already know about, but you want to delve into more. Some of the most popular things I obviously mentioned, different psychological disorders or diseases. Medical diseases are really good for research because there's so many things about them. If you are interested in a particular visual artist, like a painter or a sculptor, that would be a great one. If you wanted to do something a little bit out of the box, but sort of fun, one of the things that's worked really well in the past is I've had students who decided to explore a culture that is not their own through things like holidays or cuisine or things of that nature. So if there's some place, for example, that you want to travel, you could research that place. Personally, I spent a lot of time early in this year because we were going to Denmark and Norway and Germany in June. I spent a lot of time looking for information on those places. And so there's a lot of really cool stuff that you can do with that. You could focus on a particular holiday celebration. One of the recent papers I saw, which I thought was really interesting, was a student decided to do a comparison between Halloween and Dia de los Muertos, which I thought was really cool. So there's all kinds of fun possibilities. If you want to run a topic past me just to make sure that it will work, feel free to do that. You can either send me an inbox or you can put it on the Q&A discussion board, because that I think I could answer, and other students might benefit from that answer as well. So that's what you're doing in week 3, just the bibliography part, but it will also be giving you all your sources that you'll be able to use in the paper. So the two really do go together. We'll talk more about the paper next week.